say, all right, fellas, are you ready? And he wants to crow.
In Essequibo, 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. The amount of money Guyana is losing from the lopsided 2016 production sharing agreement should be of more concern to Guyanese stakeholders, rather than the financial risks undertaken by oil companies operating in the Stabroek Oil Block. Oil and Gas Governance Network member Mike Prasad made the assertion recently. Prasad is adamant that oil companies are gaining heavily from Guyana's PSA, while the country continues to lose from the said agreement. The question, therefore, is why Guyanese leaders are preoccupied with the financial risk assessment of oil companies' investment in Guyana when such a lopsided contract has been signed. Oil companies, he said, are heavily capitalized, owned by millions of shareholders, and their business model prepares them for those risks. Meanwhile, more than 2 years after the life of the Public Procurement Commission ended, President Ali on Friday swore in 4 of the 5 members of that commission. The PPC is the body which exercises a major regulatory and oversight role in public procurement and the awarding of government contracts. The PPC monitors public procurement by government to ensure the principles of fairness, equity, value for money, and competition is upheld, and to ensure that the procedures of public procurement are executed in accordance with the laws of Guyana. The members that were sworn in include Executive of the AFC, Diana Rajkumar, former Chairman of the National Tender Board, Berkeley Wickham, Joel Bagwandin, and Rajnarayan Singh. In other news, detectives could be one step closer to solving the murder of 29-year-old Donalisa Park, a hairdresser and mother of 1 from No. 2 Village, East Kanji, Berbice, after the 32-year-old male suspect in custody reportedly told him he is willing to live with the consequences of his actions. Park's body was found wrapped in a plastic bag and dumped at the side of the Courtland Public Road in a clump of bushes on Thursday last. An autopsy conducted on her remains revealed that she died as a result of asphyxiation from being strangled. The suspect, a 32-year-old soldier attached to the GDF, had initially denied killing the woman, but on Friday, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham related that he reportedly made the statement without divulging any further details, leading investigators to believe that he might be her killer. And now let's tell you, executive management of staff of Kaieteur is seeking approximately $1.6 billion from the government of Guyana to facilitate the purchase of at least 11 articulated tractors, despite internal contention over the unsuitability of the equipment in the preparation of land for planting sugarcane. In the document, which was dated June 2nd, 2022, and addressed to the Vice President Bara Jagdeo, it was detailed that Kaieteur is facing a tillage challenge The company's estates are expected to plow and prepare 20% of their lands annually, but it was found that even the minimum field equipment could not fulfill the task. The time is now moved on to 12 hours 21. We'll take a short break and return with your news.
Go loud or go home. Never miss out on your favorite local radio segments, local and international podcasts, and DJ mixes.
That's right.
With the Go Loud app. Discover podcasts like Common Sense, Red Table Talk, The Breakfast Club, and the best mixes from DJs worldwide, and much more. Stream all of your favorite local radio stations in one app. Go loud on what matters to you. Download the Go Loud app in the App or Play Store today and start listening.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The Ministry of Education is currently advising all parents and guardians of children with the government-issued textbooks to return them no later than July 7, 2022, or they would not be able to obtain the promised cash grant for school pupils. As reported on, textbooks were distributed to students as part of the government's aim to ensure that there is equitable access to educational resources to every pupil. The ministry in a memo on Friday, however, stated that only those students who returned the textbooks will be eligible for the cash grant. The grant, which is the $30,000 Because We Care and school voucher, is slated to begin distribution later this month. In other news, Suriname state oil firm Staatsolie is getting ready to offer 60% of the country's offshore blocks for auction over the next 12 months, starting with a deepwater round in the fourth quarter, a company executive said on Wednesday. The Guyana-Suriname Basin is among the world's most promising frontiers for oil exploration, particularly since a consortium led by ExxonMobil found over 11 billion barrels of recoverable oil and gas resources in Guyana. In Suriname, Shell, APA Corp, and Total Energies plan to drill 5 exploration wells this year, targeting over 2.5 billion barrels of recoverable oil and gas, which could add to the estimated up to 6 billion barrels of resources. Meanwhile, the Guyanese Defense Force is presently upgrading its fleet of aircraft and it is looking to sell a Bell 412 aircraft as is. Bids for this were opened on Thursday at the NPTAB office and saw a total of 3 bidders vying to procure the unserviceable aircraft. The GDF, in its invitation for bids, stated that the aircraft has seating capacity to accommodate 2 crew members and 13 passengers. On Thursday, 2 bids were also opened for the procurement of solar inverter system and CCTV surveillance system, and procurement of 16-man Halo body camera and evidence management software, both for the Ministry of Home Affairs. And moving on, retired Assistant Commissioner of Police and former Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Paul Slow, has moved to the court seeking an injunction to block the current PSC from promoting or publishing a promotions list of officers of the Guyana Police Force until his challenge to President Ali's suspension of the former PSC is completed. On June 16, 2021, President Ali suspended the commission, and the following month, the suspended members filed a legal action by means of a fixed date application against the president, challenging their suspension. And to wrap things up, 2 police ranks attached to the Parfait police station on the west bank of Demerara were transferred to another location because they are currently under investigation for allegedly assaulting a 24-year-old man on Tuesday last. The young man, Nicholas Osborne, was reportedly assaulted while the ranks were arresting him, allegedly being in possession of a quantity of marijuana. Osborne said that on the day of the incident, he was riding his bicycle in the Wales community when he was approached by 2 men in a white car. According to him, at the time he was not aware of the men were policemen due to the fact that they were wearing plain clothing and they had never identified themselves as police when approaching. And at this point, we wrap things up with page 7 of today's Kaieteur News, dedicated to being blunt. President Ali and gas to shore. President Ali is giving Guyanese gas on gas to shore. That is the short of the story, with his pumping citizens full of empty air with this over $1 billion project. He is giving Guyanese little by way of information, but sits back with his expectation of passion and commitment from Guyanese praying for cheap electricity. President Ali says trust him and his government. All Guyanese have gotten from trusting leaders and governments is getting their hands burnt. With something as big as this and as costly as this, we are sorry, sir. Trust is a victim of the supply chain crisis. Serious shortage, almost a crisis. Give the nation something to bite on with this project, like the final price tag, and trust would begin from that point. Don't insult with this fuzzy arithmetic and voodoo economics and ask for trust. The world doesn't work like this, and the president ought to know this. And that brings us to the end of today's main newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today. Are you a Kaieteur newspaper advertiser? Well then, we have great news for you. Kaieteur Radio presents a 50% discount on all radio advertisements only for a limited time. To advertise, contact us on 225-8465 or 226-7455 or email us at kaieteurradioads@gmail.com. You can even visit our office at 24 Saffron Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. Kaieteur Radio, covering you from coast to coast.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Purvis 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.